What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, the Detroit Pistons have finally traded Andre Drummond, who's been the talk of many trade rumors for quite a while now. They traded him to the Cleveland Cavaliers, apparently for next to nothing. Um, and Andre Drummond was upset about this on Twitter, uh, speaking about it and how basically, I guess, how he feels like he was shocked and felt like it was disrespectful. And I kind of understand where he's coming from. Now, while it is true that he's been a talk of trade rumors for quite a while, I think what the issue is, this is a guy, Andre Drummond, that's played with this organization for more than 7 seasons. And a guy of his caliber, this is the thing that kills me about the fans of today. Andre Drummond would be on par with, say, 15 years ago, a guy like Ben Wallace. Or, as a matter of fact, he's actually a better scorer than Ben Wallace. So, I'm trying to think of who I would really compare him to. He's a better rebounder than Alonzo Mourning. Uh, you know, he's sort of he's not quite as good as Moses Malone, but he's sort of reminds you a little bit like Moses. Okay, so, like 20, 25, 30 years ago, a guy like Andre Drummond would have been highly valuable at the center position. But because of this quote-unquote three-point shooting evolution, a guy like Andre Drummond just isn't really, people don't really see what he does and think of it as having any value. And the fact that a guy like Andre Drummond apparently wasn't even notified that he had been traded is disrespectful. It's very disrespectful. The Detroit Pistons could have notified him. There's always been this disrespect when it comes to big guys and the center position, and big guys in general, to be honest with you. Okay, Shaquille O'Neal reportedly said that he learned that he had been traded from the Los Angeles Lakers to the Miami Heat via ESPN, like everybody else. I think that's disrespectful, considering that Shaquille O'Neal had been the cornerstone of that 3-title run that they had for the past 4 to 5 seasons, winning 3 championships in a span of, what was that, 5 seasons? So it is what it is, man. I understand that that the Detroit Pistons, want to rebuild. I've read that this helps to freeze up nearly $40 million for them to make some sort of run in the off season toward rebuilding for the future and building potentially a contending team. But I just think it's terrible that they did that to Andre Drummond, man. And then I know Drummond don't want to say it, but you've basically moved him from, you've taken him from a bad situation and put him into a shitty situation. You put him from the Detroit Pistons to the Cleveland Cavaliers, where they're not exactly a contending team. They're just not, And what I do see with this, though, is now you have with the Cleveland Cavaliers 2 dominant rebounders down low. Kevin Love, I think, I guess he's going to stay there in Cleveland. It bothers me, man. On Cleveland, you have, in Kevin Love and Andre Drummond, 2 of the best rebounders in the NBA in the past, 6, 7 seasons, plus 8 seasons, on one team, and they're not valued. Andre Drummond, okay, I get it. He's been on bad teams. I think his talents have been languished, on some bad teams. But Kevin Love has won an NBA championship. Kevin Love has been to multiple NBA finals. He has that championship experience and know-how, but yet he's not heavily touted. It's always these fucking pretty boy ass fucking guards, man. A lot of these fucking dudes. Never mind. I mean, I don't want to even go into a rant, man. I don't even want to go into a rant about that. But the center position is just isn't valued anymore, and it's a shame, man. You know, I'm just gonna say it, man. It's my fucking opinion. It's my fucking channel. I'll say what the fuck I want to say. I think part of it is just marketing, to be honest with you. The center position has never been heavily marketable. Big men aren't marketable when it comes to jerseys and endorsements, and most fans can't connect with a 7 foot tall guy. All right, I mean, exactly who was the most marketable center? Probably Shaq. Okay, I guess he did okay with endorsements, but he was no Michael Jordan. Now, he did get a lot of endorsements, but he wasn't the marketing bonanza that Michael Jordan or for their eras, Magic Johnson, um, later on guys like for a little while, Penny Hardaway, Grant Hill, and Kobe Bryant before he got into his issues, LeBron James, uh, guys who are like I would say 6'9" and under just do a lot better when it comes to marketability in the NBA. I don't know, man. Maybe I just have a special affinity toward the big man, but centers are what I grew up admiring and watching in the NBA. When it comes to, uh, Patrick Ewing or David Robinson, Shaquille O'Neal, obviously. Now, Charles Barkley wasn't actually a big man, but he played the big man position in a way that, in the front court, that is, in a way that you never saw a guy his size before or since. Karl Malone, Alonzo Mourning, Dennis Rodman, 6'7", but could rebound better than anybody. Dikembe Mutombo, Mark Eaton, the list goes on and on with the big men in the NBA in the 1990s and beyond. So that's pretty much all I got to say about this subject, man. Andre Drummond isn't sexy. I guess when I say sexy, I mean as far as his game is concerned, it's not the most appealing. He's a traditional center. He's a great rebounder. He's not a great scorer per se. Um, Although he can score, he can score usually within the range of about 15 to 17 points per game. He does have a tendency to wear down during the course of the season. And oftentimes, even though he has an old school style game, he can be out physical. He can be, physically uh, worn down or physically. How can I say this? His game can be physically altered by other big men. Despite his old school sort of way of playing. You know what I'm saying? He's not exactly Alonzo Mourning when it comes to toughness ability. Um, he don't want that smoke is basically what I'm saying when it comes to certain guys. I remember oftentimes seeing how Joel Embiid would embarrass him sometimes in one-on-one matchups. But with that being said, a guy like Andre Drummond, a multiple-time All-Star, the best rebounder in the NBA like the past, 3 or 4 seasons, one of the best rebounders in NBA history, to be honest with you. He deserves to be on a team that's at least a contending team, man. I just hate to see these guys on these teams where they're not being acknowledged. It's basically what I'm trying to say. I hate to see that shit, man. But anyway, that's all I got to say, man. Tell me what you guys think.